The arrival of the Unmaker. The morning skies over Metropolis were clear, painted in brilliant strokes of gold by the rising sun. People bustled through the city streets, commuters with coffee cups, children in backpacks, construction crews lifting steel beams skyward. It was an ordinary day, the kind of day Superman silently cherished. Yet, above the calm of Earth, something vast stirred in the silence of space. At first, it was mistaken for a solar eclipse. A colossal shadow crept across the sky, blotting out the sun in an unnatural veil. But telescopes and satellites quickly confirmed the truth. It was no celestial phenomenon. Hanging like a black wound against the heavens was a ship, if it could even be called that. It was miles wide, shaped like a fortress fused with the bones of some alien leviathan, glowing with veins of violet energy. Within minutes, the shadow swallowed the city, plunging Metropolis into a false night. Screens around the world flickered as the same transmission broadcast across every channel, every frequency. A voice emerged, deep, metallic, inhuman, vibrating in the marrow of every listener. This world is unworthy. Its core will feed my people. Its species will be erased. I am Vey'Kul, the Unmaker, and I will claim this planet for the Empire of Silence. Panic rippled across the streets. Cars screeched, crowds surged, and alarms rang. Yet amid the chaos, eyes turned upward, searching for one figure, the Man of Steel. Superman hovered above Metropolis within seconds, cape snapping in the wind. His blue eyes locked on the alien juggernaut blotting out the sun. He could feel the terror rising from millions of hearts, their fear as palpable as gravity. And he felt something else, responsibility heavier than steel. "I won't let you touch them," Superman whispered to himself. As if hearing the challenge, the ship split open like a blooming iron flower. From its core descended the Invader, Vey'Kul the Unmaker. His towering form glistened in armor that looked less crafted than grown, jagged and obsidian, glowing faintly with lines of violet light. His face was hidden behind a mask shaped like a skull, his eyes burning with a cold radiance. Around him swirled weapons unlike anything humanity had seen, spires of anti-energy that warped the air itself, crackling with a power Superman could sense in his very cells. Kryptonian strength met its countermeasure. "You call yourself Protector," Vey'Kul thundered as he landed in a crater of shattered asphalt. His voice rattled windows. "But you guard a species weak, fragile, undeserving of survival. I will end their story and harvest their bones for fuel." Superman landed across from him, the ground cracking beneath his boots. "You'll have to go through me first." The first strike came like thunder. Vey'Kul swung a gauntlet fist wrapped in violet fire, and Superman blocked it, the impact sending shockwaves down the street. Skyscraper windows shattered, cars lifted from the ground, and people screamed as debris rained. Superman shoved back, sending Vey'Kul skidding across broken pavement. But the alien rose without effort, unshaken. Vey'Kul extended his hand, and the air itself seemed to hum. From his gauntlet erupted a pulse of anti-energy, slamming into Superman's chest like a cannon blast. Pain seared through him, not the ordinary ache of battle, but something deeper, invasive, as though his cells were being unraveled. Superman stumbled back, stunned by the realization this was a weapon designed to break him. Blood traced the corner of his lip. For the first time in years, Superman bled in public view. Gasps rippled through the watching crowds. But what shocked them more was not Superman's fall, it was their own response. Instead of scattering, some people ran to pull the wounded from debris. Others shouted defiance at the alien figure towering in the crater. A firefighter raised an axe as though it could make a difference. A young woman shielded her child, staring straight into the void-born monster's eyes. Vey'Kul tilted his head, almost amused. "See how fragile they are? They cower even as they attempt to defy. I will show them mercy by erasing their weakness." Superman, still kneeling, heard their voices, their heartbeats, their courage. Humanity was afraid, yes, but not broken. They were standing in the shadow of annihilation and still daring to resist. He rose again, fire in his eyes. You think strength is measured only in power. You don't understand them at all. With a roar, Superman launched forward, fists blazing with momentum faster than sound. He slammed into Vey'Kul, driving him through a half-finished skyscraper, concrete and steel exploding around them. The alien retaliated with another pulse of anti-energy, burning into Superman's chest, but the Man of Steel held his ground, gritting through the agony. From below, the people of Metropolis watched as the Titans collided above their city. Every punch was a shockwave, every blow a storm. But for all the power Superman displayed, the truth gnawed at him. Vey'Kul's weapons worked. Each strike sapped his strength, weakening him in ways he had never experienced. Yet every time Superman staggered, his gaze fell on the humans below, pulling the injured from rubble, shielding each other, refusing to abandon their neighbors. Their courage was like sunlight in his veins. Vey'Kul slammed him into the earth once more, standing over him triumphant. You cannot win, Kryptonian. Your strength fails. This world will kneel, and you with it. Superman coughed, forcing himself upright. His voice was hoarse but steady. You don't get it, Vey'Kul. Humanity doesn't kneel. Not to you. Not to anyone. The alien tilted his head, regarding him with cold amusement. Then their destruction will be their own doing. Above, the warship shifted, and swarms of biomechanical drones began pouring into Earth's skies, descending like a storm of locusts. Their shrill metallic cries echoed as they spread across the city, blotting out the light. Superman squared his shoulders despite the pain burning through him. His fists clenched, cape whipping in the hot winds of invasion. He knew this fight was only beginning, and it would take everything he had. But he also knew one thing. Humanity wasn't just waiting for him to save them. They were already saving themselves. And with them standing behind him, he would never stop fighting. The war for humanity had begun. Broken but unyielding. The skyline of Metropolis was fractured. Smoke rose from broken towers, flames licked at shattered windows, and sirens wailed like a chorus of defiance. Superman staggered from the rubble of a collapsed office block, his suit torn, chest scorched by the violet energy burns. His breaths came heavy, each inhale scraped against a weight he had never known before. Vey'Kul, the Unmaker, descended in a storm of violet light. His armor pulsed with the energy he had ripped from Superman's very cells. The alien's voice carried like thunder. Do you feel it, Kryptonian? The unraveling of your essence? You are nothing before the will of the Unmaker. This city will be my forge, this world my fuel. Superman's fists clenched, but his arms trembled. The anti-energy core woven into Vey'Kul's armor had done more than weaken him. It was leeching his connection to the sun, draining the very lifeblood of his power. For the first time in years, Superman felt something raw and alien to him. Helplessness. And yet, below him, humanity did not stop. Firefighters carved paths through debris. Medics rushed into burning streets. Civilians formed chains to drag strangers from collapsed storefronts. They looked skyward not in surrender but in solidarity. Superman forced himself upright. His voice, though strained, was steady. You don't understand them. You'll never understand them. Vey'Kul tilted his head, the violet glow of his mask pulsing. I understand enough. Weakness deserves no place in existence. With a motion like a collapsing star, he unleashed another swarm of biomechanical drones. They poured from his warship in the sky, blotting out the sun in a living tide. Their screeches filled the air as they descended on every continent: London, Cairo, Tokyo, Rio. Across the globe, humanity saw their skies darken with alien locusts. Superman leapt into the air, intercepting one wave. His punches shattered metal, His heat vision carved through swarms, but the effort drained him. Each drone carried a fragment of anti-energy, leeching him with every blow. For every machine he tore apart, 2 more replaced it. Vey'Kul laughed, the sound grinding like stone. Even you cannot fight infinity, Kryptonian. Superman crashed back into the streets, dust and fire swallowing him. For a heartbeat, silence threatened to consume him. The weight of defeat pressed against his spirit like chains. But then he heard it. Not silence. Not despair. Voices. Over here. Get the children to the shelter. I've got the power grid rerouted. Keep those drones away from the lines. We can't let them win. Not here. Not now. Ordinary humans, unarmed, unshielded, fighting back in every way they could. Engineers hacking the Invader's code, police and soldiers coordinating defenses, neighbors shielding neighbors. Across the world, people were rising not as victims, but as warriors of resilience. Superman's chest swelled. The pain was still there, burning, relentless, but so was something greater. He pushed himself up, every muscle screaming, and rose back into the sky. I am not alone, he said, his voice carrying to every drone, every ear. He rocketed upward, smashing through the swarm, his cape blazing red against the smoky heavens. He aimed for the source, the warship looming like a wound against the sky. Vey'Kul rose to meet him, jagged wings unfurling from his armor. Their collision cracked the air itself, shock waves rippling across the city. Superman's fists hammered against alien plating, sparks and fire erupting with every blow. But the Unmaker was unshaken, countering with strikes that rattled Superman's bones. You fight with borrowed strength, Vey'Kul growled, slamming a backhand across Superman's jaw. This species is your crutch. When I shatter them, you will crumble with them. Blood sprayed from Superman's mouth, but he smiled through it. You've got it backwards. They're not my crutch, they're my reason. With a roar, he surged forward, grappling Vey'Kul and driving them both through the hull of the alien warship. Metal screamed as they tore through corridors filled with violet light. Drones swarmed, but Superman flung them aside, his fury ignited not just by power, but by purpose. Inside the heart of the ship, he saw it, the anti-energy core. A pulsing, violet furnace built from stolen suns, feeding the invasion fleet. Its glow stabbed into his cells like knives. He faltered, knees buckling as his strength drained. Vey'Kul loomed behind him, laughter reverberating. You see it now, don't you? The source of your end. Your story finishes here. Superman's vision blurred. His body screamed to fall. But his mind replayed the images below. A mother shielding her child, a firefighter holding the line, a scientist rerouting alien code. Humanity was still standing. And so would he. With a roar, Superman rose again, slamming his fists into Vey'Kul's chest. They grappled, colliding like gods, shaking the warship to its core. Superman's heat vision cut across the alien's mask, cracking it, revealing eyes that burned cold as space. Vey'Kul struck back, claws raking Superman's chest, but the Man of Steel did not yield. Below, humanity saw the warship tremble. Broadcasts captured the battle raging in orbit, showing their champion bloodied, battered, but unbroken. Across the globe, cheers rose, drowning out fear. Superman hurled Vey'Kul through the ship's command deck, sparks cascading. The alien snarled, voice venomous. You cannot win. Even if you destroy me, there are legions beyond this galaxy. Humanity will be erased. Superman's voice cut like steel. Maybe. But not today. He launched himself at the alien, fists burning with the fury of a star, driving Vey'Kul deeper into the ship. Outside, the swarm faltered, their command disrupted. Humanity, watching, realized the truth. This wasn't just Superman's fight. It was their war. And together, they would not yield. The final war had begun, and it was far from over. The final war for humanity. The warship groaned like a dying star. Sparks rained from ruptured conduits, smoke twisted through its shattered corridors, and the deep hum of the anti-energy core reverberated like a heartbeat of doom. Superman stood at its center, chest heaving, his suit scorched and torn. Across from him, Vey'Kul the Unmaker rose again, jagged armor fractured but still pulsing with violet fire. "You fight for insects," the alien warlord spat, his voice vibrating the walls. "Fragile, short-lived, weak. When they fall, what will your defiance mean?" Superman wiped the blood from his lip, his eyes blazing red with heat vision barely contained. His voice was hoarse but steady. "It means everything. Because they don't fall, they rise. Again and again. And I'll rise with them." With a roar, Vey'Kul lunged, swinging a blade of condensed anti-energy. Superman met him head-on. Their collision rattled the entire warship, shockwaves ripping through the alien steel. Each strike sent tremors across orbit, sparks scattering into the void. The alien ship's drones swarmed to defend their master, but below, Earth's defenders were not idle. Across the globe, humanity had mobilized. In Metropolis, engineers overloaded power grids, creating EMP surges that fried drone circuits. In London, pilots led swarms of jets into the alien horde, shooting down invaders in blazing trails of fire. In Wakanda, scientists pierced the drone's code, turning some against their master. Humanity fought back, not as scattered prey, but as one species united. From orbit, Superman could hear their voices, a chorus of resistance, of courage, of defiance. It poured into him like sunlight through storm clouds. Vey'Kul sneered as he pressed Superman back against the pulsing anti-energy core. "Do you hear them beg? Their cries are the music of extinction." Superman gritted his teeth, forcing the alien's blade aside. "No. What I hear is hope." He drove his forehead into Vey'Kul's mask, shattering it with a crack that echoed like thunder. Beneath the jagged fragments glared eyes burning violet, void-like and merciless. For the first time, the alien looked less like a god and more like a tyrant afraid to lose. Vey'Kul unleashed a wave of energy so fierce it hurled Superman across the chamber. His body slammed into twisted steel, pain roaring through every nerve. The alien warlord advanced, each step like a drumbeat of doom. "You are finished, Kryptonian." Superman struggled to his knees, his vision blurred, his body trembling. For a moment, doubt clawed at him. Could he win? Could one man, even Superman, stand against a god of unmaking? Then he remembered. A firefighter pulling a child from the rubble. A woman shielding strangers with her body. Scientists hacking alien code with shaking hands but steady resolve. Humanity standing tall even in its darkest hour. He wasn't alone. He never was. Strength surged through him, not just from the sun, but from the spirit of those he fought for. He rose, his cape torn, his fists clenched, his eyes blazing. "I'm not finished. Not while humanity stands." With a roar, Superman launched himself forward, colliding with Vey'Kul in a storm of fury. He pummeled the alien back, fists hammering like meteors, each strike fueled by the will of a planet that refused to die. Vey'Kul countered, claws raking across Superman's chest, blasts of anti-energy searing his skin. Pain burned him, but he pressed on, every blow carrying the weight of Earth's defiance. Their battle tore through the ship's command deck, collapsing walls and rupturing the core's containment. The anti-energy furnace flared violently, destabilizing, threatening to consume everything. Vey'Kul's laughter echoed even as sparks cascaded around him. "If I fall, I will take this world with me." Superman locked eyes with him, fury and determination blazing. "No. You'll fall alone." He seized the alien warlord, grappling him in a crushing hold. With a final surge of will, Superman lifted Vey'Kul off the ground, dragging him toward the raging core. The violet energy burned his skin, clawed at his cells, but he held firm. Vey'Kul thrashed, roaring with inhuman rage. "You cannot destroy me, Kryptonian. I am eternal." Superman's voice thundered back, "Then eternity ends tonight." With a final heave, he hurled Vey'Kul into the core. The alien scream shook the heavens as his body was consumed by the very energy he had wielded. The core overloaded, its glow reaching blinding brilliance. The warship trembled, shattering under the force of collapse. There was no time. Superman shot upward through the hull, dragging the unstable core with him. Out into the void, away from Earth's fragile orbit, he pushed with every ounce of strength left in him. His body seared, his cells screaming for mercy, but he would not yield. Below, humanity watched as a blazing light streaked across the sky like a second sun. The warship detonated in a storm of violet fire, fragments scattering harmlessly into space. And from that light, a figure descended, burned, battered, but alive. Superman fell through the clouds, landing in the heart of Metropolis. Dust billowed as he struck the ground, kneeling, cape torn to shreds. For a heartbeat, the world held its breath. Then cheers erupted, rolling across streets, across cities, across nations. Humanity roared its triumph. Not because Superman had saved them, but because together they had survived. Superman lifted his head, exhaustion etched in every line of his face. Around him, people were already rebuilding, clearing rubble, tending the wounded, standing hand in hand. He smiled faintly, pride in his eyes. Lois Lane pushed through the crowd, kneeling beside him. "You did it." Superman shook his head softly. "We did it. Humanity did it." He rose unsteadily, gazing up at the sky, now clear and blue again. The war was over. Earth still turned. Humanity still stood. And as long as they did, so would he. Because in the end, the final war wasn't just Superman's victory. It was humanity's.